We started with Concord, and I said Concord is the agreement between the subject and the verb in a sentence. Now I said the subject, usually you see the subject in the beginning of the sentence, but it's not always, but usually it's always the beginning. The subject performs the action, the object receives the action. The action is the verb. I say Tumishe slapped Miriam. Tumishe is the subject performing the action. The action is slap, which is the verb. Then Miriam is the object. Now the agreement between the subject Tumishe and the verb slap is what we call Concord. So we are saying if the subject is black, the verb should be black. If the subject is America, the verb should be America. There's no point saying it's only a human being you can see intermarried. But in this case, they must go in line. The first one we did was number 1. Subject, verb, concord. That's the first rule. Look at all the types of concord. We have about 24 to 27 of them. The subject, verb, concord. And I stated that if the subject is singular, the verb must be singular. I said Tumishe goes to school. Now, one thing you should note that in nouns, when you add s, morpheme s, it becomes plural. But in verbs, if you add s, it becomes singular. If you remove s in verb, it becomes plural. So if I say Tumishe goes to school, Tumishe is 1, goes to school, goes is 1. If I say Tumishe and Miriam, now plural, go to school, go, plural. That's subject, verb, concord. Number 2. Subject, object, concord. Now, subject, object, the first one was subject, verb, Abby?
Yes.
Concord. The second one is subject, object, concord. Now, I said, whenever you see the word everybody, somebody, nobody, it's not specifying whether the person is a male or female. It doesn't mean many people. That's it. Everybody, you say goes to school, because everybody, somebody, all indefinite pronouns, you take them as singular. Everybody goes to school. Everybody is here. Everybody is here. So you treat it as singular. So whenever you are using that subject, everybody, the object can never be there. Look at it. Everybody likes themselves or themselves. Rubbish. You can't say that. You already said everybody. You now said likes. That everybody one. Likes one. You now say them. You now said men. How come? You already told us that when you said likes, that's singular. You have told us that everybody is singular. Then you now went ahead in the object and said themselves. So whenever you use that, everybody like the object must be his or her. So everybody likes his or her parents. Every student obeys his or her parents. That's how it goes. That's the third one.
Mandative subjunctive concord. Mandative subjunctive.
Mandative subjunctive concord. Mandative subjunctive. Mandative subjunctive concord. Now, this mandative subjunctive concord simply means that there are some words when you see them in sentences, nothing concerns you. Just leave the verb the way the verb is. Let me say, leave the verb the way the verb is. If I say those words are pray, demand, suggest, request, recommend. If I say I recommend Tumishe go, you can't say Tumishe goes. Now you just leave the verb the way the verb is. Don't add s to it. Don't put past to it. Just I recommend Tumishe goes. Whether it's singular or plural, just use go. I pray God hear. Normally you will say God hears because God is one. Should I be God hears? But now you say, I pray God hear you. That's I request she come here. No, she come say. They recommended I go. I leave. They recommended she leave. Not she leaves. That's subjective, mandatory subjective concord. The next one. A pair of concord. I said number 4, when you use a pair of. Whenever I use a pair of, the next noun, usually whenever you have pair, those nouns that are always a pair come with S. A pair of scissors, there's S there. A pair of trousers, there's S there. A pair of glasses, there's S there. A pair of slippers. Those things that come in pair are usually having S behind them. So but when you use a pair of, the verb must be singular. A pair of slippers lies, not lie, because you treat them as one. A pair of slippers lies on the floor. A pair of trousers lies on the bed. Number 4.
The principle of proximity.
The principle of proximity. Pay attention. Principle of proximity just simply state that when 2 or more nouns are joined and separated by a comma, the last noun or pronoun determines the verb. For instance, if I asked Tumishe, I said, if you fail, mom, dad, or I dash to blame. I said, Tumishe, is it is, are, where, am? Which would you prefer to put in here? Tumishe? If you fail, mom, dad, or I dash to blame. If you fail, mom, dad, or I is to blame. It sounds sweet. Another something, if you fail, mom, dad, or I are to blame. But in the principle of proximity, once you see this separated by command and or, leave out this one. Consider only this part. Now, let's use what Tumishe chose is. Tumishe, I read this last one. Everything. This why are you jumping this one? Doesn't make sense now. It doesn't. So the right word is and. That's principle of proximity. The next one.
Many a concord.
Many a concord. Many a concord. Now many a concord means states that whenever you see the word many a, don't be scared. Many a, is it many a boy, many a boys? Is it many a boy has gone or many a boys have gone or many a boys has gone or many? Which one is correct? Whenever I see many a boy, it looks like to you you'll be asking, are we talking about many or we are talking about a? The next noun must be singular. Many a boy. Many a boy. Then the next verb must be singular. Many a boy is stubborn today. Many a boy is lazy today. Many a boy is many a is singular noun plus singular noun. That's 5, 6. That was where we stopped. Okay, we want to continue from where we stopped. 6 now. Okay, 7. Collective noun concord. Collective noun concord. Collective noun concord. Collective noun. Where's your notes? Okay, I posted this on YouTube, so you don't need to ask for notes. In fact, you don't even let me out here. So you just go to YouTube, you see the collective noun concord. Now, this look at me. There's some words that are just words that collect noun. For instance, police. Police is not one person. Police means all the people working in that police. Police. Army is collection of what? Soldiers. Now don't make it that say, See the army is coming. Eh? You saw one soldier coming, you said, see the army is coming. Army means troops. You saw one person, you said, army coming, army is coming, army is coming. No. Not army, soldier is coming. Police is coming. Not police. A policeman is coming, a policewoman is coming. Police is collecting now. Just like I said, this class. I want my class to submit the assignment. What do I mean? Does it mean the building? It means the people. That's collective now. Pay attention because of this Concord. So this collective noun Concord. So this collective nouns, you need to know what they are. Furniture is a collective noun. Equipment is a collective noun. Now what first principle you need to know about collective nouns? Like you don't have S to them. 1. 2. Most times you treat them as what? Singular. All my father's property. Don't put S. All my father's property. No S. Although you said all my father's, it's going to be property. Then singular has been destroyed, not have been destroyed, has been destroyed. Let's go. Collective nouns. A collective noun is a word which stands for many units that constitute that single word. Which stands for many units that constitute that single word. Simply put, is a word for a group of nouns. It's a word for a group of nouns. They include property. Let's start with that. They include property, equipment, furniture, stationery. This is the stationery, this stationery. Which other one? I don't want humans. I want non-humans. Property. Collective noun. We have police. We have army. We have cattle. We have sheep. Somebody said industry. We have class. We have youth. We have property. Okay? We're talking about youth and we have club. Now, these are examples of collective nouns. Let me just stop. These are examples of collective nouns. I said property. I said equipment, stationery, furniture. Somebody said industry. I came to give humans, army, police, club, class, youth, cattle, that's living, sheep. These nouns do not appear with S. These nouns do not appear with S. These nouns do not appear with S. Hence, they naturally go with singular verbs. Hence, they naturally go with singular verbs. For example, all my father's property has singular been destroyed. All my has been destroyed. Okay. Notes. There are two types of property in English. There are two types of property in English language. One means characteristics or feature. One means characteristic or feature. The other one means belongings. Now, property that implies characteristic. Property that implies characteristic. Can take S. Can take S to make it plural. It is not a collective noun. It is not a collective noun. The property that means characteristics. What are the properties of a good government? What are the properties of a well-trained child? A well-trained child is obedient, a well-trained child is respectful, a well-trained child. These ones are not collective nouns. This property does not imply collective noun. It's not a collective noun. It's just a noun. It's not even a noun. It's an adjective. What are the features? What are the characteristics? That one can take S. But whenever you are talking about property, meaning your belongings, shop, land, houses, the things that you have belongings, that one does not take S. Does not take S. This one. And when you treat it as one, even if you have several of them, that's one point I want to take. So the rule in this, now pay attention. The rule here is this in collective noun vocabulary. Whenever you see collective nouns, singular verbs are used. Right. Whenever collective nouns appear in a sentence, or in sentences, singular verbs are used after them. Singular verbs are used after them. For example, the equipment is bound. Is singular. Equipment, no S. However, for those collective nouns that constitute living things like humans, however, those collective nouns that constitute living things like humans, e.g., army, police, when no action is performed, we use singular verb. When an action is performed, we use plural verb. When an action is performed, we use plural verb. For example, stop writing, look up. See, the police is your friend. Now let me ask you a question. Police now, is he performing any action? The police is your friend. Is he performing any action? Go down. The police is your friend. Is he performing action? The police in this statement, is it performing any action? No. So you treat it as singular. But if I say the police are chasing the criminal, now they are performing action, so you treat them as many. That's all. That's the rule here. So although for all collective nouns, you treat them as what? Singular. Use singular verb. But those ones that constitute human being, once they're not performing action, you treat them as singular. Once they are performing action, you treat them as singular. Look at this. Our institution, or our class is 5 years. 5 years now. The age of our institution, 5 years now. It's not perfect. But if I say our institution or class are going for excursion or on excursion. Now our class are going, all the students in our class are going for excursion. Please try these things. Next one will be looking like more than a Concord. More than Concord. More than Concord. When you see this word more than in sentence, how do you apply them? What's the agreement between this more than and a verb? More than a Concord. Okay. When more than is found in a sentence, the noun following will determine the choice of the verb. When more than is found in a sentence, the noun following will determine the choice of the verb. Example. Look up. Don't play games with English language. Don't imagine things. Just follow the rules. More than one person. To you say, you mean that it's not one person now? More than one person are here. It's wrong. Because you are the one playing logic with English language. More than one person. So you say, did you mention any number? So when it is the number that comes after more than that determines the verb. One. We want to go with plural or singular verb. One. Does it go with singular or plural? Singular. Singular. So we have more than one person. Has been arrested because of this one. So what if I say more than two persons is going to be have been arrested. It's the number you use. So whenever you see more than, just the number that is coming. If the number is 1, then singular verb. The number is more than 1, is 2, 3, 4, 5, is have been arrested. So you just think of any verb, more than one person is here. More than two persons are here. Is one and one. Just like this. That's more than. So start that what? This 50. 50.
More than a Concord.
You know, parenthesis Concord. Parenthesis. Now, parenthesis means brackets. Please take note. Those of you that are just coming and parenthesis means brackets. They say, put this in parenthesis. Now, those of you that will be writing while this is there's what we call P, punctuation, in your essay. How you use your comma and like. Let me tell you, one of the ways you attract more mark in your essay is to include punctuations. And one of the punctuations you can always include is brackets. What is parenthesis bracket? Parenthesis tells you more about the thing you just said. For instance, as I was going home, pay attention, I saw Mr. Festus, now open the bracket. The man I said married my elder sister. Close the bracket. Do you see what I did? Yeah. I just explained Mr. Festus in the bracket. Do you understand that? That's how. So if you are in art class, you should know how to write good books. So the parenthesis tells you, you're explaining more about the thing that came before the parenthesis. That's what parenthesis is. Bracket. So you can do that. My brother went for NYSC. You now open bracket. Now put National Youth Service. Do you understand? You now explain NYSC in the bracket. That's all. So essay is not, an English language is not difficult, but a lot of technicalities. So parenthesis Concord. Now what it means is this. There are some sentences you will see. They are long. They are a couple of clauses. 1 plus 2 plus, then the verb. You will think it's 2 clauses or 2 nouns. It is just one. The last one is just explaining the first one. I have taught you this when I taught you now in our position. And I still explain it on Friday. I said now in our position is just explaining the first noun. I said, Mr. Festus, our biology teacher. What is the biology? Who is the biology teacher? Mr. Festus. Do you understand? So sometimes you see Mr. Festus and Mr. Festus and biology teacher. They are not two things. They are not two things. One. So the second one is a parenthetic statement. So for confusion, for example, to confuse you, they remove the word parenthesis. So it now appears as if there are two down there. Mr. Festus and biology teacher. You now settle it. Just one. Do you understand? Mr. Festus and biology teacher is here. It's not my name. The second one is still the first one. It's a parenthetic statement. So that's what we want to look at. Parenthesis Concord. Please take note. I'll give you, let me quickly explain this. Now, these statements are completely different. Mr. Festus and biology teacher is here. What is Mr. Festus and his biology teacher are here. Now what? Please take note. Please go back. Leave all whatever you think you know about English. So when parent there, my daughter, I said, don't tell me my daughter, English is toughest there. Yeah, you can score 90 in government, you can never score even 65 in English jam and stuff. It is somebody who scores 25, tough. This statement has to do with full nouns because of this article. Mr. Festus and the biology teacher are here. There are two different people. Please take note. We are not getting into the depth of jam. Mr. Festus and biology jam is here. This one means Mr. Festus. This one means different people. Did you see what I showed you now? Yes. Did you see that? Whenever I see this kind of statement, what out for the article what? D. The article D is not there. It's the same person. Do you understand? When the article D is there, it's two different persons. So Mr. Festus and the biology teacher are here. Then Mr. Festus and biology teacher is here. So let's go. Parenthesis statement. Parenthesis statement is an additional statement to what has already been said before. To what has already been said before. It is usually in brackets. That's parentheses. It is usually in brackets. But for examination purpose, the bracket is removed. It is usually in brackets, but for examination purpose, the bracket is removed. So that one could not easily determine where the parenthetic statement starts and ends. So that one would not easily determine where the parenthetic statement starts or ends.